right, 3.27. Retention numbers ain't doing too hot. We had 34.7%, the worst since Necropolis. And anecdotally, I didn't even look at this until today. I didn't even realize it was this bad, but I could definitely feel it in hardcore trade. It's been extra dead. Now, it's always kind of dead, but this league, like, extra dead. There were days where I couldn't buy very simple stuff, whether I couldn't get the Spectre I needed or some random currency, which happens normally, but it was happening way earlier this league and more often. So I don't think it's necessarily because it's a bad league. I think there's a few other factors at play that don't necessarily just mean the league is bad. I think it's a pretty good league. I liked it. For the most part, I have a few pain points. Overall, good league. I give it like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Definitely not one I would really expect at first glance to get really bad retention, but alas, here we are. Thought I would just talk about some reasons why. So, number one is that the 2-month cycle we're on now probably burns people out faster. Going from 2 months of PoE 2 and 2 months of PoE 1 into 2 months of PoE 2, I think it's natural. People will burn out faster. I know, like, the games are pretty different, but still at their core, they're still PoE, so I'm guessing people will play less of both games. I could see in the future retentions just being lower kind of across the board with it being on such a packed schedule because, you know, there's other games you want to play and whatnot. Could have been because of big game releases with like Arc Raiders or whatever literally being on the same day. But I think I could be totally wrong, but I guess this 2-month cycle we're going to see lower retention, which isn't necessarily like a terrible thing or anything. Especially if you're in softcore trade. But besides that, actual in-game stuff, the major thing I think that would lead to this from in-game changes and balance is that progression is in a kind of weird spot. Now, obviously, if you're like a Giga casual or something, like this doesn't really apply to you because you're never gonna have time to do everything anyways. But progression is kind of weird. So you get tons of money from like King's March, right? You get tons of money from Faustus. Like I just logged in for the first time today. I have like a couple div just sitting here for me for doing nothing. I go to King's March, and then I'll go to the boats, and then I'll probably get a divine here. Never mind, but usually you get, on average I usually get 2 div from the boats, and then I don't know where I'm going, but if you have the mapper, then you get more divs and whatever, you know? So you're getting a ton of passive money from the new async trade, King's March, and that's not necessarily bringing the retention down, but this combined with all these other things we're going to talk about for progression. So good rare gear is like very cheap now. Like all this stuff. Let me find an item here. This item on a normal hardcore league would be pretty good. This has been pretty much listed since league start. But this league, it's like 1C item. Got tons of items that are like pretty good. Like you have triple res, you get spell damage, whatever, like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if your item's not like near perfect, it's not selling. On a normal league, these would all sell for at some point. Maybe not instantly in hardcore, but they would at some point. Baseline gear is higher now. It's really easy to get good gear because of the tree, because of King's March recombinating, and we got Foulborn currency now, etc., etc. There's like tons of things to get really good gear, really fast, really cheap, right? You can blast through most of the game very fast. And then low-end juicing was also pretty annihilated this league. Top-end juicing is then probably too much work still to get to a lot of people. T17 farming is annoying, generally. It is for me. Especially on certain builds. Like, if you really want to do T17s, you're going to roll a build that can ignore most of the mods, right? Or you're just going to be spending too much time re-rolling maps. overall kind of annoying. And a lot of the map mods that you want to run are like, okay, I can run this, but it's annoying, right? Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I don't really hate T17s, but you know, it's just kind of this weird spot where the low end is too easy, the high ends, I don't want to say too hard, but like most people realistically are never getting there, right? Realistically, most people can get to the low end stuff, but a lot of it was deleted this league, right? Alice Tree nerfed, a bunch of the easy strategies nerfed, like Abyss Hordes and whatever. And not much brought up to be into the low-end juicers. Oddly enough, in the buff patch, it was like all high-end stuff that got giga buffed with the scarabs and whatnot with rare modifiers. So it's just a kind of weird equilibrium there is out of whack, I think. Not enough stuff for people to do on the low end. Too hard to get to the high end. The low end goes by too fast. Combination of all this stuff. Low retention. Then the other end is like Breach is kind of whatever. I mean, I like it, but could be better. I don't think it really lives up to the Breach name. The walls suck. Granted, I think there was just a patch for it, but it's a little late. There's something for walls. But yeah, the walls suck. And then I feel like a lot of the womb gifts are like just whatever. Like you're just spamming it. You're realistically not gonna get anything.
Welcome back.
Like I mean, I've gotten like one div from the tree this season, so I don't think divs are really that common. Granted, I've got a mage blood, but like blasting all these, blasting those, this, like realistically, you're probably not gonna get something super good from it at this point in the league, right? It's just kind of meh. It's basically just a mage blood simulator here, where you're praying from a mage blood from the unique ones. And that's about it. Granted, you could still do some things with the like equipment for like recombinating, whatever, but soft core, I imagine it just boils down to a mage blood gambling mechanic. And then I forgot to mention like ground loot obviously got obliterated. A lot of people like ground loot. Basically right now if you're farming something, you are farming something you will click open. Like Legion boxes, you click it open. Like Blight, you click it open, whatever, you know. A lot of stuff like that. Granted, there's like the Blight that just explodes with loot on the end too, but ground loot, bad. I mean, I dropped like maybe 5 natural divs this league. I mean, I have what, 1.5 million kills on this character. I've been doing like T16.5s. I've got maybe 5 natural drops. Most of them are from other stuff. I didn't think I'd see a divine till like day 3. From the ground. I obviously saw it other places, but yep, that's it.